Everyone, welcome to FMA Talk. I am the host, Dr. Tim, and this is my wonderful co-host.
Hey, PG Ty's here.
So, as usual, there's always something going on, and my computer decided to reboot just when we're about to start the show. Could have something to do with Windows 11, and PG Ty will say it has something to do with Windows, period. But, you know. I might be logging off and logging back in. So for some reason, evidently, I won't be using my main screen, my main camera, because I need to get some kind of adapter or driver or whatever if my camera is even compatible with Windows 11. Yay! Love it. Love it, love it, love it.
Good times.
But, you know, it's a never-ending thing. So hopefully everyone's having a better time than us. My computer is off to the right, and there we go. And then Mr. Larry says, you gotta love tech. Hey, this is good, though. I'm learning how to do this using my phone.
Excellent. Hey, Larry.
Love technology. All right, and then Tier, see, I can do this. My co-host here, where is he?
There he
I'm
is.
the co-host. He's my cheerleader. He's telling me what's going on. Actually, it's not that bad with the camera, is it?
No, it's not bad at all.
How's the sound?
Sounds okay. You can tell, but it's not unpleasant. I mean, more than normal.
And more than my normal voices.
Ba-dum-bump.
Here all day. Yeah.
Almost. Yep.
Almost. Oh, hey, my computer's coming back up. Let's see if I can get back in here. I'm going to cancel. Chrome didn't shut down correctly. Would you like to restore the page? No, I do not want to restore my page.
Well, it crashed hard.
Oh, I crashed hard, yeah. Yeah, so I'm waiting for things to happen, man. All right, I'm going to see about... Okay, hopefully I'll see you guys shortly.
All right.
Let me see if I can leave.
I guess I'm still on here. I don't know. Larry, is it just you, or are other people on already? I can't see the whole list. And I know there's a lag.
Can you all hear me?
Can hear you, can't see you.
Well, I think I can fix that. Won't be what I want, but it'll work.
Yeah.
So of course my screen's in front of me, but my camera's off to the right. Hey.
All right.
So I don't see anyone else because there's no one else here, just the two of us.
Okay. So it's the Ty, Larry, Tim show.
Yeah.
All right.
There's 6 people watching.
Oh, okay. They're just quiet.
So listen, today is going to be a fun one, I think, hopefully. We're going to talk about whether you cosplay with your martial arts or you're actually doing practical martial arts. My rant should probably be about technology not working. But listen, everyone, do us a favor. It always helps getting the message out, please. If you haven't already, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification button.
Yep. And
share the video wherever you feel is appropriate. So please, when you sign in today, if you make a comment, tell us what part of the world you are chiming in from. Larry is from Durango, Colorado. Yeah, and my cameras are all jacked up. So, but at least I know how to make it work with my cell phone, which is good.
Nope, that worked out fine.
I don't know who that is.
I believe just it came up to my thread today. I'm going to go ahead and mention it. The remember the Memorial Day training I did for Roel and everybody came down for? That popped up on my thread today. So I guess it's been a year.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. No,
hey, Frank from Long Island is chiming in.
Oh, great. Hey, Frank.
Frank, love this. Great. Yeah. Will you stop it? Oh my God, he's driving me crazy. Yeah, I get cranky when things don't work right, and then I get crankier as things go on. So next week, it'll be a Datu's Corner like last week. Last week was PG Ty's birthday.
That's right. I got older. Yay!
How'd you hear? And I told everybody. I quietly said, "Hey, everybody, don't let him know, but wish him a happy birthday."
No, it was cool. Thanks for everybody that did. I appreciate it. And if you didn't, that's cool too. All good. It's not like anything different. No, it's not anything different, right? It's just another day.
So
it's better than the alternative. So there you go.
But yeah, yes, it is. So no time for rants. We're just gonna hop right in and do stuff.
All right.
PG Ty's got a lot of. He's doing a lot of stuff. Well, actually, we both got a lot of stuff, crazy stuff going on. But he will not be with us next week due to work commitment. Which work is, work is how you support the family. Family first. That's the way I'm always on this. So I want to talk about today's show. Once again, sorry for the cameras being jacked up, but it is what it is. It's a Windows thing. But today's topic is, are you training practical martial arts or are you just cosplaying? Now, there's room for everybody. There's room for everything. So there's nothing wrong with this. Oh, here we go. Oh, and jiu-jitsu. Hey, he came out, made some comments the other day on stuff. Hello, can you comment on modern sparring? You guys do not spar. So what's the use of your techniques if you, okay. So, do we know you, by the way? And if we do know you, feel free to.
But it is a common observation.
Well, let me ask you this, Mr. Jiu-Jitsu. What do you do your jiu-jitsu for? I'm assuming you're a jiu-jitsu guy. So let me ask you this, and I'm not trying to be. I'm to make sure we're all on the same concept and things. What do you use your martial arts for? Are you doing Brazilian jiu-jitsu? Are you doing Japanese jiu-jitsu? Before we make comments, we got to make sure we're all on the same page so we know where we're coming from. Mm-hmm. Today is going to be about context versus contact. And it's not that Modern East doesn't spar. If you look at Remy's book, the rules are in Modern East for sparring.
Yep. And didn't
it's
you just
that the majority of people who do Modern East don't do it as a primary art. So I'm assuming, which I could be wrong, they're sparring in their primary art. They're just not doing weapon sparring in Filipino martial arts.
I think that's probably often true, but I know I was just smiling at this because you came from a sparathon this weekend, isn't that right?
I had a sparathon. I hosted a sparathon this weekend.
Yes, I just thought that was funny. Sorry.
So let me. Okay, so I am a huge supporter of what we do, and I'm also in addition to being one of Modern East's biggest advocates, I'm also one of its biggest enemies at times. I'm that guy that will call BS on people, and people don't like me when I do that. Hey, SGF or SPG.
There you go.
Supreme.
Oh, great. Or is that the other S that we heard? I don't know. Thanks, Rich.
Was he there for that comment?
I can't remember which trip that was.
Yeah. He may have been there for that one.
I think we told him about it for sure, even if he wasn't.
They all know about SGM.
Yep.
Okay. So, so I am one of Modern East's, like I said, I'm definitely, I think as a whole, I'm the FMA ambassador. Silly or serious? Oh, okay.
Ah, okay. Probably
Yeah.
silly. Yeah,
Yeah.
works.
I've always been a big advocate of Filipino martial arts. I've always, whenever possible, when it's convenient, I try to give people from other Filipino systems an opportunity to show their stuff as well. And I think we've established a culture in our organization that does the same throughout it. You do the FMA, the fall fling and the spring thing, and you'll have 8 to 10 at a minimum of eight different Filipino systems there.
Mm-hmm.
We do similar things up here where, I mean, it's a modernist camp, but we have a guest instructor from another system, and I've been doing that for decades. But so I'm definitely pro FMA because this is my core art. But as we talked about in that, if you jiu-jitsu, if you watch that video, you'll understand that, first of all, Remy didn't try to teach people how to be stick fighters. He tried to teach them how to defend themselves. And yes, there is some form of pressure testing, if that's and I don't even like that. We've talked about this before. I don't like the word pressure testing. I don't think it necessarily. I think there could be we had a better word. We should have written it down.
We should have, yeah, but something along the lines of challenging what you're doing.
Yeah, but but the thing here, like I said, I would say 95% or more of modern Chinese practitioners come from karate and taekwondo and stuff like that. So if they were going to spar, they would spar in their primary art. That being said, whether it be kickboxing, jiu-jitsu, judo, taekwondo, fill in the blanks, as much as that works the attributes, it's not real because it's two people doing things that are not the norm. You wouldn't have 2 taekwondo practitioners fighting in a bar. You wouldn't have 2 jiu-jitsu. The martial artist is less than 1%, but we'll say 1% of the population. So when we do things that are training against another trained opponent, okay, I'm sorry. When it comes to training against another opponent, those opponents are probably going to be are most likely going to be untrained. So a lot of times we don't do realistic pressure testing in our studios because it's unreal, which is actually today's topic. So this will actually tie into sparring, I think.
Yeah.
So we, Ty and I, who are students of Remy Pracis, with a whole subculture, actually spar Arnis style sparring, FMA style sparring. A lot of Remy students didn't because they would karate spar, taekwondo spar, and all the other stuff. And hello there, Mr. Franco.
Hey, Dino.
And then thoughts are about situational training versus sparring. Yeah. Yep. So So what do I think about cosplaying versus, what do I mean by it? What are we've talked about this. So
right.
when you heard, why don't you start the ball rolling on this one?
Sure.
Only because I had a lot of stuff happen today.
No worries. No, yeah. So what do we mean by cosplay? That's a good question to start out with. I guess probably let's put a few things on the table, right? Are you something, and we have some people that we know some people that cosplay, and my wife does that. It's a lot of good fun stuff. But as far as martial art, is that what you want? Is that what you think you're doing? Are you even aware of a difference? And did you pick, what it ends up you're doing? So what is that cosplaying? Are you going through the motions? Are you playing dress up and trying to look like you're doing martial arts? Or are you doing martial arts that can be mean? Maybe you're interested in self-defense. Maybe you're interested in competition and sparring with those rule sets. Maybe you're interested in combat full contact, light, point, or like I said, back to self-defense. I would say that in Remy's focus with modern was self-defense, right? So how do you pressure test that? How do you challenge that within that paradigm? But anyway, so yeah, cosplay. Are you looking like you're doing whatever it is that somebody might be interested in a martial art for, or are you actually doing it? So I think that is the first question, if that makes sense.
I mean, okay, so let's put it this way. Let's to put it out there. I have done fencing. I have done HEMA. I've done a lot of fencing. Whenever I go down to Ohio, I get the chance to do HEMA, which is historical European martial arts, where we actually spar with steel blades. Now I usually do sabers, but they'll do long swords and all this other. Actually, Dean has done some of that as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you could do kendo. Now I've done shambara, which is a padded version of kendo.
Okay.
Well, and when we do our padded stick fighting, that's the same thing, you know. And a lot of times when we look at you go to a Filipino martial art tournament. Well, at the end of the day, how often are you going to have people stick dueling versus being in versus fighting in the street with a weapon? You know, when you do sparring in a tournament, whether it be point or even full contact. Let's say you go full contact. There's no problem that there's real contact, but the context is wrong, because who are you going to fight like that?
Right.
Who's going to come at you with that same strategy? It's usually someone grabs your shirt and punches you in the face. That's
Right.
not two people touching gloves, go to the corners and come out. It doesn't work that way.
Well, along the same line, some people will put some pretty good pressure on, like you said, stick kind of sparring kind of approach, or stick dueling kind of approach. But that's not. You have to realize where the goods and the bads are on that. Again, who are you training for and why?
Yeah. Okay. So let's see what Frank says here. Okay. So I guess I'm a Kempo guy. 18 years in the system. Tracy and Parker system. The last 4 years really explored a lot of stick and knife with my instructor. As my instructor learned it, he would teach me. To me, a lot of was non-realistic. I now work with Francisco and Damien, trying to learn and take their. Okay, so if you're talking about weapons, I would go to. Okay, listen. I've taught at Damien's. I've taught at Francisco's. They're great guys. We've been around the world with each other. If you want to do weapon material, you don't do Kempo. You use that as a base for movement, and Kempo's got a great encyclopedia of movement, basically. Then, you know, but unfortunately, some of the Kempo rules don't apply to weapons, or they don't deal with the weapon variables. You know, you throw something in the mix, you got a blade, that changes things. And some of the rules in some martial arts don't address edged weapons. Okay, I'm just going to grab the stick. Okay, but what if it's a machete? That's actually when I taught down in Barbados. The first time I taught in the Caribbean, that was an interesting one. I'm doing block grab, hit with the stick, and all of a sudden the girl goes, "What if it's a cutlass?" I'm like, "Cutlass? What the hell?" It was Pirates of the Caribbean, and it took me 30 seconds, and I go, "Oh yeah, Barbados is in the Caribbean."
Right.
And one of their major exports is rum, which means you're harvesting sugar cane, and everyone has a blade. You can walk around with a blade all day long, and no one questions you. So it depends on where you are, and you know, when it comes to weapon-based training, the Filipino martial arts are second to none. That being said, there's some things that we need to do to take ourselves to the next level. And good evening, Trent. I hope you're doing well.
Hey, Trent.
So there's a lot of okay, hold on. What is the use of the Año in Modernese? Ty?
What is the use of the Año in Modernese? For me, It's an exploration field of movement. So for me, I'm looking at forms in general are a way of exploring optimized movements. How you use them, how you apply them is up to you, but you have to explore that. So they're a starting point. They're a what do you call it? A record, and also something that's nifty to practice on your own if that works for you. As far as in our niece, they're kind of it's not central to what we do. Put it that way. That's my take, anyway. Just
you could get away. Okay, you could be all right doing our system without the forms, but it was the method that Professor. Well, I mean, let's call it what it is. Professor put forms in the system to legitimize the art, but after he did that, he used that as an anchor point to teach movement.
Yep.
And like in everything, it's not about the form; it's about the application. To me, forms are about martial movement, and if it's done right, you start. It's a key of getting us to move better, I think. The nice thing here is before you start freestyling with things like carenza and stuff of that nature, it's okay. Okay, so here's what we did. Forms are just a static drill, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but like when I do my bondo, the forms can be you can change the directions as you want based on the environment and terrain that you're in, which I thought was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
We do lock flows in our system. So recently, in the last year, I've been putting together little mini lock flow sets to teach people how to flow, just like doing pad drills. If you do pad drills, it's not about memorizing the pad drill. It's to teach you how to be coached.
Right.
So I should be able to say after you get used to doing like 3 or 4 different lock flows, I should be able to take moves from each of those lock flows. Say, all right, come up with a lock flow that does this, 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 and this. Feel free to put in as much as you want to make those connections, and you should be able to do something.
Mm-hmm.
So a form is like my lock flow that first we start with pre-organized movement, and then later you just learn the flow. So before I do the carenzas, I do my forms to get me there. Plus, if you do them right, at least like when we do our forms with the especially with the long swords, it teaches us all about proper footwork.
Yes.
If you do the forms the way we do in the World Modern Ace Alliance, it's going to show you what happens when it'll show you the pros and cons of. It'll show you why we don't do things the way why we. Actually, why we don't. Like I said, it was a long day. Someone got dinged and cut in class today just before I got here.
Oh no.
Yeah. It was blood everywhere. Okay, he might need a stitch or two, but Jana sat with him for a while, and at the end of class, he felt that he was okay. But it just threw me off. Anytime someone gets hurt, my mind.
Sure.
If you do the modern Ace forms the way we do them, you'll understand why we move the way we do. If you do Remy put the forms together really quick to help legitimize the system. He never went back to work on them, but he did on the exploration of what the movements could be. But he didn't go back to refine the structure of the delivery system of the form itself. And to me, there was a couple missteps here and there, at least with the weapon forms.
Mm-hmm. I think the other things,
rules of movement.
Yeah, I think the forms forms in general, I think also do serve the purpose as a teaching tool, right? If I give you things that I want you to move right, whether or not you understand why, and we haven't got there, you haven't internalized something, whatever, I can work with how to adjust you and see what's going on. And it's particularly true when you do weapons forms, right? Because you've got a big lever arm and you can really magnify, it really magnifies what you can see and how people move. And so then you can use that to give them the feedback they need. So I think it's also on the other end for the teachers. It's a teaching tool as well, particularly bigger, longer forms, like you said, the two-handed sword, staff, those kinds of things.
Now, I think since Remy started traveling the world, he saw different needs based on different environments. A martial art has to evolve if you want it to be relevant. If you don't care, this is part of what the show's about. Are you doing, okay, instead of saying cosplaying, are you doing, okay, every modern or every traditional art was modern once.
Mm-hmm.
But I see a lot of martial arts, and I'm not talking FMA, I'm talking all martial arts that have become historical movements and not practical applications. Not today's. They haven't evolved with things. And like Ed Parker, we'll use Master Parker. His people always told me the same stuff. He was constantly evolving the system up until the time he died. But then you watch, he died and it froze. It froze.
Mm-hmm.
Now I think we've been very good. In modern, it was modern, kept evolving, and our organization evolves the art, but keeps the essence of the art in place. Okay, how about you grab this one here? I can't see this. Okay.
I lost my screen. Oh, there it is. Ray Goss. Great topic. I used to do WCAF style sparring back in the 90s. Thanks to Doug Pierce's introduction. Still have the gear. But students didn't like getting hit, and I still don't like the metal clang on the face cage. Once Action Flex came out, stick sparring became fun for almost everyone. Lots of options of weapon types in a safer setting. Flow drills are still best with rattan and no gear. There's a lot of different kinds of sparring you can do to put some challenge to what you think you're doing. Give you some feedback.
Yeah. So to me, when it comes to martial arts, the tip of my spear has to be self-defense based. And I think a lot of people get confused with real contact with real context. So I fenced, I do Balintawak, I spar, okay? I look at all these different things, and I think the attributes that are developed from these exercises and drills can be directly applied and has enhanced my ability to defend myself. But it's not the movement, it's not the activity, it's what the activity built.
Right.
And I think sometimes, like I watch people train like really hard. Like if you watch the Bahala guys, oh my God, they're crazy in how hard they attack each other. Okay, but let's put something in context. Ty, how many people do you know of that were in the middle of a street fight in the Philippines? Westerners. How many Westerners do you know of that were in the middle of a street fight in the Philippines?
There's 4 I can think of.
Was it 4 or just 3? Was Evan there too?
I thought Evan was there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's 3 or 4. You and I.
Yep.
Craig and possibly his son Evan, most likely.
Right.
Was anyone using any kind of Filipino weapons?
Or anything that looks like a technique? No.
People were going for bricks, 2x4s, stones, whatever they can pick up.
Right.
Okay, what do we got here? What is your think about Modernist black belt certificate that has an expiration date? Only in the Philippines that I've known. Say that. Okay. Am I reading that right? What do you think
I think
about
that's right, yeah.
Modernist black belt certificate that has an expiration date? Only in the Philippines that I noticed they do it. Nope, they do it in the States.
Some of them, yeah.
That was Remy. All right, so I see you put the dollar signs there. So I'm gonna call bullshit on that comment for Remy, because at the time, only at the end did he change, but for 2 decades he charged $30 for belt testing, no matter what rank you got, and that was at camp.
Yep.
Now at the end, he went up to like $1.25 or $1.75 for first degree, but there was no recertification fees.
Right.
If you stayed active, and actually we do the same thing, but it's not it's to keep your teaching criteria up. Okay, so here we go. Too many people act and train where in the 1600s Asia versus 2022 in America. Teaching and focusing on work motivated students. They act like they're fit. Okay, yeah, exactly. See, that's the point of this thing. So the thing here is this. You watch all the people doing all this stick and dagger, moving all this other stuff. How many people are going to have stick and dagger on the street? Okay. I'm a big advocate of Balintawak. I was one of the senior students under Ted Buat. One of a handful of people that were still training with him just before he had his last stroke. There's no way I would use Balintawak in the street. I would go to my modern Ernest first because modern Ernest is more applicable for self-defense. Okay? And I'm a person who has witnessed and experienced a lot of violence in the streets firsthand. Like I said, when we were in the Philippines, as far as witnessing it, no one was doing any Filipino martial arts. None whatsoever. Okay, so let's see here. Datu T, are you cross-training for personal reasons or both? Wait. Am I on that one? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not.
Can you rewrite that one there, Noah? I'm sorry. My head's not working the way they act like people who dress up in Civil War reenactment. Well, I mean, that was the whole theme of today. Are you a cosplayer LARPer?
Right.
Live action role play. Although, hey guys, let me out of curiosity, did you like my graphic? Was this cool? I was gonna use someone else, but the other photo I almost used was a Asian schoolgirl with a katana.
Well, and you said at the beginning too, right? There's room, it also depends on what people are doing. If you're honest with yourself and that's what you want to do this stuff for, great in a sense, right? You can do that, but be honest, right?
Well, listen, okay. If you're doing the groupings of Balintawak, which I do, if I'm doing tappy, which I do, sombrada drill, which I do all these things like that. And then say to people I'm doing real martial arts.
Right.
That's bullshit.
Right.
Listen, Craig Mason, one of our PGs, is a dog brother candidate. He just has to do an international event, and they'll probably get his full dog. He fights the dog brothers with modern Ernest. He does well. They love him. He's all good. But he'll be the first to tell you that shit's not going to work in the street. Because it doesn't go down like that. One or two people going to... And then they're using my socks, which are like tonfas, but different. And then they use knife fighting. And when they're using knives, it's these flat training aluminum daggers. Mm-hmm. And they'll stab each other, and they don't acknowledge the fact that they've been stabbed. So the other guy will drop his knife and punch you and choke you out, but the knife didn't count and all this other stuff. I mean, there's a subculture of martial artists out there that talk about real. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, real contact, no question about it. Judo, real contact, no question about it. Grappling, boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai, no problem. But that's not real context, because when you start tying me up in the street, baby, that's what you're going to get. Okay? Well, no, actually, you're not going to get that, because I don't pull this out if I'm in a hand-to-hand encounter. But the thing here is, other people do. Mm-hmm. Are you training for this? So, and I'm not trying to sound like a virtual badass. I've been in a shitload of fights growing up and going on, and I've got a lot of conditioning, which doesn't mean I won. Well, I won all my fights by surviving. That's the only way I define winning these days. It's not about kicking whose ass, because it doesn't really work that way.
Right. Well, I think other thing people forget is that there's fights that people want to, think about doing in the real world. Real world, right? Most fights are not at all fair. The whole point about why do sucker punches work? Because they work. How are you going to train against that? So it's all about observation, placing yourself in the right key places. There's a lot of self-defense aspects that are different than what some of these people talk about.
Here we go.
There you go.
I'm not quoting them.
There you go.
Everything's BS.
That's right. Somebody
right,
posted something about the pre.
Same idea with a lot of Kempo I study. We teach the standard defense for the dojo punch, where where there is no follow-up. We help the students understand these, and we will never use them in real. Here's the thing too: is there's nothing wrong with doing a study of movement, position recognition, attribute building.
Targeting.
If you're selling fencing as practical self-defense, or kendo as practical self-defense, or most of Filipino martial arts as practical self-defense, and I love my Filipino martial arts. This is what I do as a standalone program. So I'm one of the guys taking a shot at my own system. There we go. You got that one?
Yeah. A lot of gangs want me because of my bow staff skills. Quote Napoleon Dynamite.
There you go.
That's a great one. Yes.
You know,
pretty serious with that bow staff.
I hate bow staff.
I know.
Someone told me that the other day. I'm like, really? You of all people, bow staff? So listen, guys, if you don't know this, there is no such thing as a bow staff. See, in the catalogs, it used to say bow, Joe, and staff. And then it said bow and staff. Because bow or Joe, bow and Joe are two different words for the staff. So when you say bow staff, you're saying staff, or car, or whatever. I'm like, you don't say automobile car. You don't say plane. It's all bullshit.
More Napoleon. No.
Yeah. Okay, here we go.
That's a great reminder. Yeah. Larry also has a good point.
Here we go. No matter how talented someone might be in the dojo, dealing with the emotional trauma and actual attack when you are alone. Notice that. Yeah, exactly. You know, we armchair quarterback what we would do all the time in all situations. How many times, even just in a stupid conversation, you wish, shit, oh, why didn't I say this? Now, that's a stupid conversation. That's an emotional battle or something. And you're telling me in the situation like a fight, you're going to have the wherewithal to say that? I mean, a lot of people just have vapor lock.
Mm-hmm.
You know, oh, I should have did this. I should have did that. How'd that guy hit me? I mean, because of the quantities of things that I've hands-on myself, I'm not concerned about what I would do in the street. I feel comfortable what I would be able to do in the street. But, you know, at the end of the day, most people out there haven't come up the same way I did. Once again, I'm not saying I'm some virtual badass. What I'm saying is I've seen and have been a victim of a lot of violence in the streets. I've been jumped on more than one occasion. You know, I know what that's like. I've been sucker punched. Know what that's like. Okay. All right, here we go. Where are we at here? Very awesome graphics, sir. Thank you. My question was, do you cross-train in other systems than FMA, like BJJ, or are you teaching BJJ or other arts? Okay, so I've been doing BJJ actually since the 90s. I'm a white belt with 2 stripes, though. Because every time I get going with an instructor, it turns out that, you know, life has taken me in different directions. And my instructor is actually a good friend of mine, and he's in Canada, and the border got jacked up. So, and anytime I can further my Filipino martial arts career, I do that, as well as, wait for it, I'm traveling a lot. Prior to COVID, I was traveling about 35 weekends of the year. Kind of hard to keep up with. But I do cross-train, did Bondo as well. But I cross-train out of Filipino martial arts, not into it. So my FMA has always been my core. And I've looked into other Filipino systems that contribute to the forming of modernities, as well as other systems in general, like jiu-jitsu and BJJ and other arts, because I just love martial arts as a whole. Okay, to your students. And we had Buffalo's first BJJ program until an official Gracie guy came into town, actually certified through a Gracie versus one of the satellite programs. And then, you know, and it is a hard program to do. We had a program, we didn't have a school of it. So then a full-time school came, and, you know, you don't compete with that. Okay. We live at A. Yep. Okay. LOL. Okay. Let me see. Here we go. We live in a soft and fluffy society, hard enough, 2 classes a week, and do not waste the time. So, you know, it's rough. And the thing here is, life is so messed up these days, it's hard to commit to training too. So let's say, you know, so I look at things that happened in life, and I try to find natural or events in the world that have happened. And I noticed when September 11th happened, it was also the same time that Remy passed. Within within 2 weeks of September 11th, Remy passed. So he passed on the 28th of August, and September 11th. Well, there you go, right around the corner. So 2 weeks after that, things changed at that time. That was like I'm not saying it became because of September 11th things changed. Not those types of things changed. But if you look, we had a depression. There was a recession, and people started getting more double income families, and and people that like the club I had, everyone was in their 20s and they started getting 30s, married with children, and things started changing. And at that time, the paradigm started moving towards more kids than anything else.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think what happens is the reality is why do McDojos work? Because at some sense, that's what people want, right? So as long as the honesty is out there, if you know what you're getting into, like say you're doing cardio kickboxing, right? People do that, and sometimes they're misled and think they can defend themselves when really all they're doing is exercise.
Okay, here we go. Noah.
Mm-hmm. What do you say?
Or not Noah, Dragon.
Oh, okay.
I saw an ad on Craigslist. I thought it was Bondo, like for the car. I'm assuming. Yeah. When I got there, it was a bondage class. Glad I had a coupon. Yes.
I didn't see that one. Nice.
Thank you. Yeah. There's Bondo, Bando, is a Burmese martial art. I do that as well. So I don't really teach that per se, but Dr. G, who is my mentor, actually everything we do in Arnis, we're already doing in Bondo. But I mean, like one of the things I do in my classes recently, I started using axe handles in the class. We use heavier sticks. Actually, it was Dr. G came up. He did a seminar. He did 2 seminars with Remy. And the first one he did with Remy, and I hosted both of them. He had these conduit tubes, like PVC tube with the gray conduit, put foam around it, and he'd swing down hard and you'd block with the stick. Well, we had like 3/4 of an inch stick and almost broke our wrists. So then we had to change and reinforce our grip, which made a huge difference, but wasn't enough.
Right.
At that point on, we started getting inch and 1/4 inch diameter sticks. Because like, okay, this little stuff is not. Because the thing here is this was a piece of conduit. What would a baseball bat would have done to us? These are the things that people I have a problem with. They do all these fluoretes and all this other stuff, but they don't know anything about, we have these cosplay ideas that you're going to stop a 2x4 with a little hunk of rattan with an unbraced block. I go, you obviously haven't had someone from South Buffalo swing a stick at your head.
And just the physics doesn't even matter for that too, right? We were talking about the low line strikes. They just pass through regardless, right? Even if you had something heavy to strike, they're going through.
End of story.
Yep.
There we go. Bugai Datu T. We all know the Precious Brothers. Why Jim Roberto is not famous like his brothers, his system. And they got on underneath the model. He was always behind the stage. So,
he didn't travel outside the Philippines that much either. So that probably didn't help.
Okay. I don't like talking about when people have, okay. Okay. He has a cleft palate and he's very conscious of it.
Mm-hmm.
Very conscious of it. And that's part of the issue. He doesn't speak English. That's another part of the issue. So, and as he's a world-class martial artist, he wasn't his 2 brothers. So I will, you're smiling, so I'm going to give you this next one.
Oh, which one? Oh, I was just reading Frank's again. So he said that Ty just said that cardio kickboxing will not work. You're telling me that if I get jumped and I do jab, 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 doing great, switch side, jab, 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 it would not work? Okay, so he's going to switch to pole aerobics. I don't know I think that's what he says.
That's like dancing with a pole.
Well, it's just about being, communicating the whole story, letting people know, what you're doing and what you're not doing. Same thing goes with, my pet peeve with a lot of people doing Tai Chi, right? It can be a martial art or it can be moving yoga. Which one are you doing?
And there's Mr. Mason. How we doing, sir? PG Craig. And
Dr. G.
yeah, Dr. G. Yeah. I mean, listen, Dr. G was a serious dude.
Yep.
Still is around. He's just, he's old now, can't move the way he used to. Listen, as far as the Praces brothers, you know what? Not everyone is the quarterback. Not everyone is that star receiver. Ernesto and Remy were two very big frontmen. And, you can say, it's like Sonny and Cher, Donnie and Marie. But then there was the rest of the people, and, they were all talented musicians and stuff. They just didn't have that, Jesse Dwyer out of nowhere.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, my goodness. Here, I'll let you read Jesse's.
All right, sure. Jesse says, I think the term McDojo gets placed on the wrong school. So, yeah, definitely sometimes. A lot of times I hear people using the term McDojo towards any successful school. Right. Good point. Like schools who charge real money and have a lot of students. I feel there's a lot of jealous people who just can't make their business work, so they mock others. There's jealousy, right? Making money should not be demonized in martial arts, right? It's a business. There's a cost, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
You should mention this, and I'm going to talk about this. Was actually going to be my rant, but I was too pissed off today and too upset. So recently I was talking to a good friend of mine, and my good friend because he's down by you. Supports your event.
Okay. I know who it is probably. And
he talks about somebody who's very, very smiley to my face, but talks shit behind my back. And you are welcome, brother. And one of the comments that was made is that Tim's always business. Yes. You know what? This is something that pisses me off. You show me one of the grandmasters that doesn't charge money. Okay? That doesn't charge any money. Mm-hmm. Here's another thing I'm going to talk to you guys. I'm going to talk to you face to face now. I'm really pissed off.
Thanks, Jesse.
Okay. How about McDojo? All the grandmasters, one time or another, it seems to be. Well, actually, you know who didn't try to do it? Ted Bua charged money, but charged chump change. When I got in, it was $40 an hour. Wow. Before I got there, it was $30. He was an engineer and didn't give a shit.
Right.
And Jesse says, thank you, and my pleasure. So this is a guy who had money. But people who've tried, I know a shitload of FMA grandmasters that bombed when it came to opening up a school because they didn't do the research. I talked to one guy in Jersey. He joined NATMA. Oh my God. I joined. I wasted a year's worth of being a member there. It was a waste of money. Really? You didn't find all those flyers, to be educational? What? Well, yeah, they give you a monthly packet and a video and all this other stuff with ads and campaigns and strategies. Oh no, I never opened that shit. I go, so you just paid money to be a member of something and you thought it was going to bring people in? You're the dumbass. I go, the problem is most of these grandmasters can't do it. Here's the thing. You tell me any grandmaster, find one grandmaster out there that does a martial arts school as their primary income. Mm-hmm. Oh, besides this guy. And that's because I'm a GM because of Ernesto, not because of my own. That was Ernesto. But I got people talking smack saying, oh, Tim's all business. You know what? This is my income for my family. How dare you mock people like me? No one says shit about Bobby Tabuada. No one says shit about Remy Praces. Mm-hmm. They're the same as all of us. We are human beings. And when people have to stop deifying these, how do you compare yourself with Ed Parker? Do you compare yourself with Remy Praces? You goddamn right I do. Because at the end of the day, they're human freaking beings. And all you ass clowns out there that are saying, we have to, they're deities, you are a moron. At the end of the day, we're all equals out there. We all have to pay the same amount of money for a tank of gas. And you know what? Not many people can afford a tank of gas these days. So I have to be entrepreneurial. I have to be a good businessman to provide for my goddamn family, to run an organization, to promote the art. Because if I stop tomorrow, this art is going to die in the United States. Prove me wrong. Prove me freaking wrong. I'm better now.
No, right, good. No, it's true. I mean, like you said, those people were all, Remy did business differently than a lot of people, but he was successful. It supported him. Oh no, that's bad.
Okay.
He gave you value for money. anytime you work with a
Jesse was a bad man.
That's right. But anytime anybody is a skilled individual with anything that you want to learn, guess what? They paid their lifeblood, sweat, money, time to do that. So for you to think that you can get some of that for free is the height of vanity.
Okay, here we go. What do you go? We have spent as much money as a college, more so. I have traveled the freaking world. I would go to Detroit monthly, round trip to Detroit in a day. That would be a 9-hour round trip to train with Ted Boat. The time in there alone. Okay, let me go back to a couple ago.
Let's see.
I have made friends after 5 years of owning a school. I'd rather make money with a job, not Eagles.
Right. I think his point is he does it. If you're going to keep doing it, it's got to work out for you.
Listen, you know what? And here the thing is, if I had a 6-figure job that would let me provide for my family and do the martial arts the way I want, damn straight I would do that. But I was very fortunate to take my passion and turn this into my profession.
Yep.
And I've made strides. Here we go. One more location, one more person who's now teaching the art. Rob Guida, one of our newest black belts, has a Kempo school of his own, 30 minutes from me, is teaching the art and is now officially a Modern Arnis black belt. That's one more foot soldier out there to help make sure that there's another generation to spread the art. Okay, more money equals more time to train and teach. If there are no profit school, if there is no profit schools closes, and we are not teaching and training, it doesn't make sense to be ignorant about business. That's stupid. Did I read that right?
Yeah, basically, yeah. No, it's pretty clear, I think. Yep.
No, the problem with here's the problem. Okay, and this was not today's topic, but it's my rant. It literally what I wanted to talk about too.
That's
okay. Why
did you call Jesse ahead of time?
What?
Did you call Jesse ahead of time? Tell him?
No, I did not. Jesse shocked me. Here's the thing. I do a business consulting, FMA professionals, trying to help Filipino martial artists take it to the next level. Why? I put the time, effort, and money in to get an education in martial business. Most of y'all backed into this. You did martial arts. You got good. The teacher asked you to teach. So you're an assistant instructor. Then something happens. You relocate. He sets you up with your own location. You fall apart. He quits. You guys butt head. You go in separate directions. You're still invested in this. You start your own club. You need to be able to have a space that you can use year round. So a lot of times, unless you're in another area, you might not be able to train outside. In Buffalo, there's too much snow. So you're not, you need to be business-like to be able to, at least if you do for non-for-profit, just having a place, you still need to know about insurance and all this other stuff. It just gives me pissed off. Okay, well, here we go. Never mind.
People love being entitled.
Okay, here we go. That's all you.
All right, Frank again. Owning a karate school is hard enough. After COVID, we all lost money, but we're still here trying to rebuild. But the 2 years of stay at home, be lazy habits have not helped. So 2 years of staying at home have let people veg a little bit, but some of them are looking for a way out. So we're seeing some of that.
Ty's fault. He said McDojo.
That was the secret word. So if you want to summon Jesse, anybody, just say McDojo and you're good.
And then he'll say something to get me jacked up.
There you go.
Okay. So I do both. I'm constantly promoting my brand. I promote the organization. Hey, we've officially got a school in Brazil now.
Nice.
So in the spring, I'll be going to Brazil.
Nice. Well, in some ways, I mean, you can't do one without the other and actually have it matter in the big picture, right? Mm-hmm. So you promote yourself, it only gets you so far. You're a big fish in a little pond. But if you're actually concerned about the art and continue on forward and you're actually trying to pay it forward, guess what? You have to do a little bit of the other. Otherwise, you won't survive and no one will catch it.
I think that I've probably, we talk about this in general. I think I've gotten my name, brand, reputation larger than Modern Arnis, as in people know who I am more than they know who Modern Arnis is. Remy Like you said, are you a person? I've always said, are you a person in the art? Are you the person that personifies the art?
Mhm.
Are you bigger than the art? Like, are you the name in the FMA industry? Like, people know me for different things in modern ace. I'm known outside the FMA industry, but then you got people who are bigger than the martial arts. That's not me. Bigger than the martial arts would be Bruce Lee, Jackie Chan, Jet Li, Chuck Norris, people of that nature.
Right.
A
Well, I'd
lot
say
of people,
Remy was certainly bigger than Modern Ace. His name was more known than his art.
he was bigger than the industry of the FMA industry.
Yep.
But he wasn't bigger than the arts, plural.
Yeah. Right.
He was bigger than the art.
I used to follow him and figure out how to go to things by looking at Inside Kung Fu magazine. He's a Kung Fu guy, right? I'm following an FMA guy in Inside Kung Fu magazine. There you go.
But I've probably gotten myself where people know more about who I like. In Europe, my name is bigger than what I teach because I've got karate and jiu-jitsu schools and taekwondo schools that like having Tim Hartman in, but don't necessarily get along with the FMA community over there. So, and then here's Carl. Brother Carl is converting more to Kempo Screama as well.
Hey, Carl.
Let me see here. Sorry, typing fast. I was fired up. Also, punctuation is important.
Words have meaning. Punctuation. Yeah.
And congrats. Okay. And then did Remy come up with the red, black stripe on the belt? Did Remy come up with black, red stripe belt, or was that our niece? Oh, comment. That was Remy. Okay, so at the time, I really don't like being on this screen. At the time, Remy wasn't using Filipino, wasn't using these uniforms that. Oh, I got to turn my keyboard back on.
I think this comment's about belts, but yeah.
I know, but okay. So I don't know why the red border.
Looks cool.
But that was a Remy thing.
Right. Here we go. Here's ours. I'll just show the one end.
Okay, there you go. Good. And I'm trying to find. So doesn't really help me that much.
Where are we now?
I'm going to do this over here, see if this works. So I'm going to put this over here. Is there any posts that I'm missing that we need to address here?
Well, I can read it. Yeah, let me scroll. So Frank, you already saw that Frank said he was clarifying the black belt with the red border trim. And he says he's he asks because any Arnis black belt.
Okay. Okay. So first of all, as far as our research has gone, and correct me if I'm wrong, Ty, it doesn't seem that any of the Filipinos were using. Well, actually, no one was using uniforms in the Philippines. Remy looked at karate was taking on. This is really not the topic of today. We looked at what. Okay, Arnis was dying in the Philippines.
Yeah.
Okay. And Remy looked at that and said, "Okay, what do we need to do? Why is karate so popular and not Filipino martial arts?" So the first thing he said there, he said, "All right, why is it called modern ace? Because he changed the way they trained. They went stick on stick because they weren't getting beat up, and they could still work."
Mm-hmm.
He said, "What else does karate have that we don't?" Oh, it said katas. So Remy put the katas in there. What else do they have? A uniform and belting system, and he incorporated that. But what they had was more t-shirt based.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to find pictures. The original Modern Ace uniform was almost like a nightshirt.
Yeah, it's like a Henley. It's a Henley type t-shirt.
Yeah. And I'm trying to Friends of Celebrities, Trace's Brothers, Remy. What we know today as the Filipino uniform was an American sport karate uniform. It was not. Here we go. because these are excerpts from. Oh no, is that Anchon? No, hold on.
Well, we're like 2 pages behind on comments. We'll have to catch up here.
Well, here's some old photos. It's not Remy, but it's one of the family members.
Yep.
So you look here. I see Renee's there. Hello, Renee.
Oh,
so
yeah.
this is the red border black belt. It's put on the side. T-shirt, red pants. That was the uniform.
Yep.
They didn't have what became the Arnis uniform.
It's more like just a field worker uniform or field worker clothes.
Here we go. There's Remy.
Yep. So young.
There he is again. I think that's the family.
Yes.
There's Remy. Okay, that's Scott Caffrey. He's the guy that made the D&D dice for me.
Oh, nice. Look
at him. He's looking. Now he's got kids. That's his sister, and there's Remy. There's the old man. Just trying to. Okay, here we go. This is one last one. Then we'll get back. Then I'll get caught up here.
All right.
Come on, you.
So when you get back, I would start with Soki Hattori's.
Okay, here we go.
Yep.
There's another one. Just a T-shirt. That's what was done in the Philippines.
Yep.
So when Remy, evidently, I want to say it was Bruce Jutnick that got Remy the uniform. But I could be wrong. So let's get. So what Remy did is he decided to do a uniform, and then from there he did the belting, but everyone else copied him. Remy was the guy that did all that stuff first. Okay, so here we go. Why in US and Canada they pay a lot for Filipino grandmasters, but when it comes to American grandmasters, they don't.
Could be that. Well, I'll say something about that. So familiarity breeds contempt. And we see that even in other places, right? You will study with things that are not from where you're at, right? Anyway, it's just a trend. That's how people work. But yeah, good point.
Actually, I charge more than most of the Filipinos do. I don't pay the Filipinos the way I pay myself. Well, no, because most of the time they can't teach as good as us. Because for Americans, we're used to a teaching system. Listen. You know who Remy Praces did an awesome seminar with structure. Mm-hmm. Bobby Tabuada does a very structured seminar. Mm-hmm. And when he's done stuff with us, he's gone above and beyond. Yeah. We've had some of the best seminars from him that we've seen.
Yeah. He shares pretty open.
But a lot of the other guys, it's very chaotic. There's no structure what they're doing. And one of the things that we've talked about this in the FMA industry. I have no. Yeah, let's not go down that path. Let's just do it.
So the next few are Frank talking about clarifying his points about the belt. But I think his point out is that his question was based on the fact that because of that, or since that time, Remy introducing that belt, it seems like he sees that kind of belt for all FMAs that are using black belts, and he's wondering, what the deal is there.
I hope modern age will grow. I hope it will too, my friend. I hope it will.
There you go.
And there's Renee. Yo.
Hey, Renee.
Happy belated birthday.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, listen. Remy showed the FMA, the Filipinos, you could make money teaching Filipino martial art. When we go over there.
Yeah. That's the real connection.
We see a bunch of copies of Remy over there, not clones, copies. Mm-hmm. The uniforms are the similar uniforms that Remy have here, but they're different color schemes. The belts all have the border on them, but they're different color schemes. So,
except for Ernesto's red, white, and blue belt, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't know if it's cool, but I got one.
Yeah, it's cool
because I'm one. Okay, here we go. He brought the belts in, and now the black belts. Only black belt I see at our niece's organization.
Right.
Number 3. Yeah. Okay, Jesse.
Yeah, he's already gone.
Shout out to the kids. Yeah.
Totally dropped by.
There you go. My keyboard messed up. Sorry, no problem. 82 Chuck Norris wore a uniform for Century pants. Yep, that's it.
Fly. Yep, that's the one with the lace-up fly.
The one.
Yep. Remy loved that one for some reason.
And those and Century wasn't the first one to do it. There's other companies that had that uniform. That was the trend back in the late 70s.
Yep.
And if you look, when Remy came over, it was in the 70s. Remy had, hey, Sam.
Hey, Peachy Sam.
You look at the Black Belt magazine, up until the time he was given one of those uniforms, he was always wearing the white shirt. Then he was given those uniforms, then everyone went nuts, and they that became it. Because it really
that was one of the things he noticed, the value of a set uniform so people can identify and feel part of something. And if it's unique enough, then boom, you got an in with people.
It's funny. I was talking to we did the camp, we did the anniversary camp, and lo and behold, Joe Rebella says, "Well, I know you don't like wearing uniforms." I go, "Who says I don't like wearing uniforms?" It's just in different areas I wear different things, you know. Right. And I'm a huge advocate of a uniform, but that doesn't mean, like, here, this is my uniform today. I'm wearing, hold on.
The organization polo. No, the school polo.
This is my school polo.
Yep.
I had gi pants on, this top, and my belt.
Yep.
Okay. I'm a huge person in all this. What we got here?
There are some that have done somewhat like that.
SGM.
Yep. SGM.
Okay, let me do this here. So I gotta create a folder for this. We're gonna have to do a camp folder. We still haven't done it. You know, Janice has now been gone for 2 weeks from work, and we've gotten absolutely nothing done. Like, how did she say, how did I get anything done? I don't know. No freaking clue.
Plus, it's the refractory period almost.
Yeah. So,
Dose Pars group in the late 70s and 80s looks baggy bottom. Love it. And I don't remember seeing that. Oh, is that the big, the loopy, almost shorts looking things?
Maybe it was the Bruce Lee pants.
Could be. The hammer pants.
Can't touch it.
I had the hammer pants with my first Kung Fu school.
All right, let me see here. Joe had me play dress up with him. And I'm all about uniforms, but I just dress different ways in different areas. So this is the selfie station at my school. I quickly put this on.
Yep.
I'm all about the uniform.
See, and there's the red, white, and blue thing.
There's my red, white, and blue belt. I got to get a Kitaro version of that.
Yeah.
So in combatant, see, in modern, there was no red. Okay. So this became a topic. So let's talk about this real quick with the uniforms. In combatant, this uniform, Joe bought his off of eBay. He had no clue of anything when I say this. This is for 8th degree and higher. If it had blue and red stripe, it's for 5th degree and higher. And I think black with the red stripe is just for black belts. The DAV does a requirement, but that's the DAV. That is not Modernist. We went away from the Modernist uniform because Century stopped making them. You can have them made. Yes. Yes to the MC Hammer pants. You go, we can have them made, but even my cost alone for a top is $45. That's my cost. You can't do a whole school of uniforms when the uniform costs you. When the jacket alone, I mean, the whole uniform would cost me $90. And what would I charge the students? There's no way in hell they would do that. But I can get a black traditional karate gi with our logo on the back and sell it to them for $40. They're durable, they're inexpensive, And they're easy to replace pieces where the FMA uniform, you have to buy the whole thing. And the tops and the bottoms don't all match. And we've had where they're misdone and all this other stuff.
Yep.
So when Century stopped manufacturing them, I went to a karate uniform. I asked Remy, what are we going to do? He said, I do not know. I went to a karate gi. It was simple. And a lot of times, that's why you'll see me wearing karate gis. Not because I turned my back on FMA, because FMA is not the uniform. I mean, because it's not a Filipino uniform in the first place. It is an American version of. It is the sport karate version of the Japanese gi.
Mm-hmm.
That's really let's call it what it is. So I remember, Dieter and I, we talked about it. He's getting all upset about it. I'm like, dude, you're wrong. It's this. Stop it. Century didn't copy the Filipinos for a uniform they weren't going to use.
Yep.
Okay, what do we got here? Can you get that one?
Sure. Soki again. The problem with most of old Filipino grandmasters, their skills are great when it comes to demo, but their explanation is not really clear. You don't get it. It's the language gap, or that is their way. I think it's both the teaching method and the language gap get in the way. But yes, definitely that's a tough one.
Okay. So
and Guro Darren here too. Hey Guro. Just saw him this weekend.
That's cool. Oh, hey, speaking of which,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna give you a blast from the past here.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, no. I'm making fun. Well, not making fun of someone. I'm just gonna show our brother. Boom. There's Renee on the right.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
Me.
Yep.
So here's Philip Jelinas, Tyler, me, Renee.
Nice.
Here's me teaching in Denmark at the Taekwondo Easter camp. Here's my question: how does that jacket make me any less of a martial artist?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, here's when I got my Datu ship.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's the 2000 Michigan Summer Camp. Kevin Black, which was it was Remy's last attorney. Paul O'Grady, he wrote an article for Black Belt, Modernization's Next Generation. Primo became a cage fighter with us. Mike Malazzo and myself. All Modernized Black Belt. That's from the Philippines. Yeah, hold on.
You got to be careful when you're scrolling through those old pictures.
Yeah, that's okay. So, but when I go through this stuff, here's me teaching in. Oh, button's not fast enough.
So the uniforms are almost functional, right? We show up at places and we have the same things on, and it's the same thing as a uniform essentially.
Yeah, there again. Here's the fifth and higher.
Yep.
But how's this any less of a martial artist there? Besides this sticking out more. Those are COVID photos.
There you go.
What's less of a martial artist there? This is some of the poses I was doing for my seminars, the flyers I did. But at the end of the day, why do we care about a uniform?
Right.
Because it makes us look like a team. That's why. And it's important. And Darren says, hello, good evening. And last question.
It's funny she'd ask this one.
So we actually had a camp set up.
Yep.
And it's not America House. America
House.
America House. So we had a camp plan where we were going to teach. And we would bring some of the Filipinos in as guest instructors, but this was a World Modernist Alliance camp happening in the Philippines.
Yep. And
the primary instructors were PG Ty and myself and others. So, yeah, there was an America camp. We didn't call it that. Because we were also going to have some Europeans teach there as well.
Yep.
Or one in particular. I've taught seminars in the Philippines. When we did the We did a tsunami fundraiser there. That's how I met a bunch of the guys there. And they had me teach. I actually have footage. Actually, if you go to my YouTube channel, the Datu Tim, you'll actually see me teaching. And the cool thing is, like, I did the cross arm lock set and doing this, that, and the other thing. And when people were taking a break for lunch, you know whose material they were practicing?
That.
Yeah. And this was, and I've taught at the FMA festival as well, but,
Yep.
we were there in the Philippines and we were asked to teach. We didn't go and pay to go teach somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing is, like, with the FMA festival, they don't hire me to teach. So I only go there if I'm there and it works out. I mean, when I taught there, I didn't go there for the festival. We went to be in the Philippines. And I taught there because we happened to be there at the same time. I wasn't going to make a special trip for that because that's not what I do.
Oh, I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can share a screen, but it just popped up on what I was looking at. It was me and Rich in front of Lapu Lapu. I don't know how to do that. Oh, I can press share. You want me to try?
Yeah, try it.
Let's see. Share screen.
I'm going to go get the brand away.
Let's see. Window. There we go. How about that?
Now I can enable it.
Did it work?
Yep, it did right there.
So Rich and I, Lapu Lapu. Speaking of Philippines,
Yep.
not as teaching, but that's a nice picture.
So, and Master Rich, who's from Michigan, he taught in the Philippines as well.
Yep.
There we go. Hey,
Hey.
I gotta ask the guy. Let's get back to this chat.
GM Terrell.
Soki, where the hell are you? Like, what part of the world are you from? Do I know you? All right.
Night, Frank.
Hi, everyone. So, I'm going to wrap this up on my end. And then if you got anything to say, PG Ty's got an early flight. So I don't want to keep him up here. So let's get back to the main thing. Cosplaying.
Mm.
My mindset is this. Selling your students fantasy material as real self-defense. That's the bottom line.
There you go.
Okay. We do so much in Filipino martial arts that would get you killed in the streets. Tappy, grouping systems, sombrada drill, sinwali. None of that shit will work in the street. You know what's going to work in the street? If it's called weaponized stuff, for the weaponized stuff, it's the angles of attack. Mm. Angle number one. You know what you do when that doesn't work? You do it again. Right. Okay. We've seen the street fight break out in the middle of the Philippines. It broke out around us. No one's doing this kung fu fighting bullshit. That's all nonsense. That's all fantasy nonsense that people talk about. Okay. The thing here is you're cosplaying if you think these drills will actually work in the street. If you're doing it for historical preservation, I'm down with you 100%. I love my fencing. I love my HEMA. I love all the things I do. Hell, I mean, but kendo, like, really? Really? You're going to, when's the last time you fought a samurai in the street there, Ty?
Well, it was just yesterday, but that was a special day.
What are you wearing? A kilt.
That's right.
Yeah. So that is my, here we go. Even my bowling team has a uniform, but we missed most of the games. Unless they were bumper.
We asked who Frank was before, but now I can't remember.
Oh, I am from Lynetta Park. Okay.
Oh, okay, great.
So we may have seen you there. So
that's right. We've been there.
Listen, and actually, modern Chinese people do spar.
Yep.
I mean, Riddell the Guck spars. These people. But the thing here is, the reason why I did that video is that most modern Chinese people in the States don't do modern Chinese as their primary art, so they don't. Since it's not their primary art, they wouldn't spar in that context. There we go. LOL. Tim will be mad that you're telling Tim. Some will be mad that you're telling the truth. Hey, Terrell, did you hear me go off earlier today? Because we were talking about what. Well,
I think you might have missed that one.
Yeah,
unless it was silent mode. I don't know.
At the 50-minute point, that's when I go off. I was a bomb. I blew up huge. But listen. I see all these Filipino martial artists working the drills hard as all can be. and I give them all the props, and I do that myself. But I'm telling people, listen, this is not real. This is not what this is about. Skill development. It's about dealing. Okay, so like when I see the Bahalana guys and I mean the multi-style guys, and they're swinging at each other, and they get cracked in the head and they're bleeding, dude, that's real contact. And they know what it's like for someone to swing a stick at them for real. But that in that scenario will never happen because it's two trained opponents going after each other. And if they're doing a spotty adaga, when are they going to do a spotty adaga in the street? Most of the time I've had actually, I'm trying to think. I've pulled a knife once when I had a multiple personal scenario, and it never engaged. I pulled a knife once. Okay, I've been cut a couple times, but I didn't have weapons when I was fighting, except for that one. And I didn't fight. I just pulled the knife out, and people backed away because, there's like 4 or 5 of them. Guy had a hockey stick. I said, screw this shit. Pulled the knife out, and all of a sudden they decided to back away. I'm like, okay. And yes, I will listen. I will listen to it, and drills are not fights. Exactly.
That's the key, right? People forget that all the time. Why do we say X, Y, or Z drill won't work in a fight? Because it's a freaking drill. What's so hard about that?
If you are you're a drill geek, and you think these drills are going to save your life, and you're going to do tapping. Okay, I won't talk about the other arts. I'll talk about modern right now. Okay, because I talked about Balintwalk, which is another art I do. I've been doing it over 2 decades. So let's talk about modern. If you think tappy is going to save your life, you're clueless. If you think 6-count drill is going to save your life, you're clueless. Now, doing those drills may build up life-saving attributes and skills.
Right.
But you got to take those attributes and skills and apply them to the appropriate tactics. If you think I'm going to do this verbatim, we watched a video the other day, a guy doing single Sinwali application, and I go, I swing here like this, and I hit him in the head with the stick, and then the person's going to throw a punch. I'm going to do this. And I'm like, dude, you just hit him in the head. He's going to back away, or you're going to knock him out. And if you didn't knock him out, then you suck as a martial artist.
Like most crappy street guys, you just attacked me wrong. That's what it was.
Exactly. I saw a street fight. This guy who says he's a master then got a glow. But then, but this Bruce Lee had the glow too. So I fell asleep and I'm watching it.
Show enough.
Shadow boxing does not make you a damn boxer. Another good. Same thing as doing Carenzas. Perfect. There was this one movie where a bullet was shot at someone, and the guy went like this, and it ended up in his teeth. And he did this, and he did this, and he did this. And he had special lighting effects, too. I mean, if
you bring all that stuff with you, it'll be fine.
Where is my team that has the wires and then does all this nonsense?
That's right.
So listen, you're a cosplayer in martial arts. If you're doing this stuff and selling it as real martial arts, that's when you're a cosplayer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I have friends who do lightsaber combat and LARP and lightsaber combat and fencing as well as HEMA. Mm-hmm. And they're the first to tell me this should get them killed in the street. Mm-hmm. Okay. Those are not cosplayers. Although on the weekends they do. but they're honest with what they're doing.
Yeah.
Okay. If you're going to go tell people that this is real bullshit, and listen, we have a responsibility to our students to be honest with them so they don't get themselves into trouble. So we don't sell them a bill of goods. You'll be able to protect yourself with this shit, and it's doing tappy. And wrong answer. I'm very protective of my students, and to be protective of my students, that means I have to be honest with them, and I can't lie to them. And selling them groupings, tappy, sombrada drill, trappy hands, decadina, hoobud, pushing hands, and all this other stuff in there as real combat is just going to get them killed.
Yep.
But if I tell them this is the first thing I say is, guys, drills build skills. And now we take these skills and apply it to the appropriate material. That's what our study of movement and position recognition. All good shit. Okay, so let's see what we got here. Some people train for 15 years, and Roscoe did 8 years in prison. My money's on the guy who's been in lockup. Yep. Good chance. Well, it depends if it's a country club or if he went into the country club prison versus the real one. Okay, I'm watching you, Datu. You said drills or tappy is not gonna help. Why learn in the first place? Is that what I said?
Didn't say it wasn't going to help. It says if you do it step by step, it's not going to work in a fight. That's true.
You didn't hear what I said. Yep. I said drills build skills. What I said was, if you rely on the drill only, it's not going to work.
Yep. Well, like anything else, you have to do the work. We've said that before, I think. So if you have your drill and develop it for the skills you want, the attributes you want, and explore the rest of it, and put some pressure on things, put some challenge to the situation, then you can start getting more out of it.
Oh, actually, maybe I read that wrong. I'm watching you, Datu Kama. You said it. Oh, no, actually, no. Okay, yeah, no, I read it. Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
No, I read it right. Okay, so at the end of the day, all these, you have to build physical attributes. Okay, we have to be martially fit one way or another.
There's that too. People always forget that one.
So doing trapping hands decadena really fast is about building hand speed.
And flow and sensitivity and coordination. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Blah, blah.
Sinwalis, same thing plus distancing. And you're doing resistance training as you're hitting your stick. So you understand what it feels to hit something.
Right.
Here we go. You know what the problem is when you do katas all day long? You're not hitting shit.
Right.
Now, if you're hitting stuff and then doing katas, you got a much better context there. Yeah. So once again, I'm all for drills. I do a whole bunch of drills. But I don't go for the drills and saying that they're going to save me. It's the attributes that they build. Okay, so let's go to the next one here. Shadow boxing. That's why I've been punched in the face. I do shadow puppets. Oh, you know what? That's, here. Try this one. And then that one. Yeah, there we got that one. Okay, good.
There we go. So actually, I was going to say, I think everything that we do in martial arts training is a piece of the puzzle. Everything's a proxy to get us towards real context. We have to do all of it. We have to do the work, and we have to do it in good faith and honest with ourselves, and then we will get the most out of it. But it still won't be the same as if we did real context every day. I can't do that because I work for a living, right? You can't do that. So I do the pieces I can, and I try to be honest.
Yeah. And Chris Davison, who's here, he was sparring with Craig yesterday. I've trained jumping round kicks in the dojang for years. I would never attempt one in real fight, especially against PG Mason. Hell, I'd never do any of that shit to Chris. I mean, listen, right. If I'm in the ring playing the game, I've done things to work, and I've made the hop away spin back kick work because the person wasn't trying to hurt me. There was playing by a set of rules. Yep. Practical. Exactly. Now I look at point karate fighters. Most of the shit they do would get them in trouble on the street. If they stick to the basics, the punch kick, they're fine. But then they'll do, some behind guys are doing this weird stuff and rolling and jumping and flipping and dipping and go, But if you take all those physical attributes and apply them to more realistic tactics in the street, oh my God, it's amazing. Just like if you take street combatives and put it in the ring, a lot of times that would get you kicked out. It's a funny thing called rules. Well, then the sport isn't real. Of course it's not. It's called a sport. And it's pushing the envelope while still keeping the fighters somewhat safe.
It's another proxy tool. Sorry.
The UFC started off as no holds barred. And it got outlawed. Then they put weight divisions in. They put rules in that make sense to protect the fighters. And now look at where they are today. MMA is huge in the world. Don't know what my topic's going to be next week, but I know it's going to be without this guy because this guy is going to be flying around out of town for work.
Yep.
So, so once again, as far as I'm concerned, it's all good.
Sorry, I had to laugh at Dragon Franks.
Marshall fit with an I
I
misspell.
most spell it with an A. Marshall Fat.
Stop. I like this guy. I like this
Yep.
guy a lot. Hey, you know what, dude? How would you like to be on our show? Unless you're trying to hide from somebody, then. All right, I'm going to do my thing. Why don't you do your thing and then wrap things up on your end, and then I'll be back.
Sure. Let's see. So hopefully that covered things. We went off on a tangent and some other things, but I think it was a good discussion, and I definitely appreciate everybody's involvement, contributions, and part of the conversation. That's really what we're trying to do here, is a conversation about aspects of these things that I think we're all interested in and or love. So that's really cool. So yeah, hopefully we covered the topic well enough, and I think we actually explored pretty deep on the sidebar, so I appreciate that. And like Datu said, I will not be here next week, so it'd be a great time to pick on me, or send questions or comments or leading things for Tim to start the next show. I'm sure he'll run with it, and that's always fun, right? You can spin it up, or hey, we can summon Jesse again by saying McDojo.
Stop it. I'm going to see if I can get this stupid camera thing worked out.
I thought he might come back.
Listen,
No, I was just reminding him to keep chiming in because this is great.
If anyone wants to guest with me next week, I'm going to do a Datu's Corner. And if anyone wants to hop in, just let me know. You can even be during the show because all I got to do is send a link to you. It's real easy. And actually, I was until Jesse got me wound up. That was actually the topic I was going to have for next week because I'm, making money. Okay, when it comes to that McDojo thing, just because you're successful doesn't mean shit. You can be successful and be and take money and do good things.
Yep.
I've also seen people who are, I can see people who are McDojo but aren't selling money because their standards are terrible. Hold on. So, grab the wrist, walk away, grab the wrist, walk away, grab the wrist, walk away. Not that wrist, the other wrist.
Name that quote.
It sounds like Jim Carrey from In Living Color.
Right. Like most beginners, you attack me wrong.
I can back up. Okay, hey Rich, if you want in, let's have you on the show next week, brother.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
I might watch that one.
We could talk about Ty.
There you go. That'd be a waste of a show.
Yeah. So this weekend I did this single stick program that will work pretty good. I'm going to talk to you for a couple of minutes after the show, but I'm going to sign off. I'm going to call you on the phone downstairs so I don't keep Janice awake.
All right.
But I'll keep it really short. Listen, guys, this is always a pleasure to have my brother here. And we get to talk stuff. And you guys are actually listening, which I have no clue why.
Exactly.
I have no clue why. I really... Okay, wait a minute. Okay, here we go. So basically, your argument is cosplay equals McDojo? No. Cosplay is fantasy martial artist.
Some McDojos do that.
Yes, not all McDojos do that.
Right.
No. Fantasy martial arts, saying, I'm trying to think, like sport karate. Okay, like tournament fighter means you're going to be badass in the street, and tournament fighter, which could be someone that could hold his own in the street, isn't dealing with 2x4s, axe handles, shovels, knives, bottles, stuff of that nature. Knock you out with my key? Yeah, it's more like that. Yeah, that's.
I can knock you out with my key, but I have to touch you to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you mean my car key? Sure.
That too. Yeah.
I got a big ass. We got a big ass keychain on it. So I'm. Oh, by the way, I'm not going to Bobby's camp because there's going to be a big martial art promotion here in November, and I've been asked to sit on the board.
Oh, nice.
And someone from who just was on the show might be testing for his black belt.
Nice.
And others. So
no, that's always an honor to get invited to be on like some of these external boards.
He knows what I'm talking about.
There you go.
First weekend of November. I would love to go Bobby's, but I'm not going to be able to because I got to support the local family. But next year is the 75th anniversary or 75th birthday. So there's no
already
than that.
Already, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Rex Quanda and Napoleon Dynamite again. Awesome.
Okay. All right.
Awesome.
Okay. I have. Okay. So you got that Napoleon down. Okay. And then I have Johnny Walker Blue afterward. Okay. Yes, invited. Okay.
Need some Penderin.
Okay. So McDojo has nothing necessary. Okay, listen. One doesn't make sure the other. Okay. So McDojo doesn't necessarily mean fantasy martial artist. You just might McDojo could be low standards, which could still be good material, but it's just phoning it in, doing the job. That's not cosplaying per se. Cosplaying to me is teaching material, selling material that are for like skill development, stuff like that, that has no intention on modern day applications. You know,
and no way to get there.
No way to get there. I'm going to teach you this fencing style that will save your life, sir. What? I don't have a rapier. Oh, no. You will always have your rapier. No,
I know something you do not. I am left-handed.
Yeah, there you go. I will Sinwall you to death.
There you go. They stand there, sure.
That just means slap happy stuff. So, cosplay is people who want to be the Amish of the martial arts. Dude, you need to be on our show. If I didn't know about it, I'd say this was Renee.
It does sound like him sometimes.
Like Renee. I'm gonna have to look this clown up on YouTube. I am here fighting stupidity, obesity where I live.
Oh my gosh!
Oh, dude, you gotta come on the show.
Oh,
and there's our favorite Panay, Magando Umaga.
Yeah, how you doing, Billy? Kumusta?
All right, I'm good. You got anything you got to say?
I'm good. Sorry, I'll miss you guys next week. I'll be on, I guess, the week after that, if you guys will still have me.
Always. Listen, everybody, always. Someone else chimed in there. What did they say?
Oh, Kara. Nice.
Guys, Kara. All right, listeners, everybody, please stay safe and stay sane. Oh, I got to take that off. This is Dr. Tim.
PG Ty. You guys take care.
And we'll see you soon.